Hi there, my name is Marlese and I am so excited to be here today on behalf of John Paul Mitchell Systems and Armstrong McCall. So let me ask you a question. How many of you have that fine, thin, skinny-haired guest that sits in your chair and wants that voluptuous blowout every time? Probably most of our fine, thin-haired guests. So today I want to take you on a journey, and the name of the journey is going to be called the Extra Body Journey. And on this journey, I'm going to share with you some product knowledge in our Extra Body category within the Paul Mitchell brand. I'm going to give you some product knowledge, some tool knowledge, and then I'm also going to share with you a very nice, versatile concave haircut called the Fernanda haircut, which is a nice long layered cut. And then I'm going to move into a really quick, easy way to do a style like a blowout with some curls and make your skinny haired guest have that big, chubby, voluptuous hair that they've always asked for. A little bit about this product that's changed my life. I have a lot of thin-haired clients in my chair, and I was never able to give them that big, voluptuous blowout until this category came along within the Paul Mitchell brand, the Extra Body. So now it's really nice because I turn to the Extra Body sculpting foam a lot, and it really does give me a chance to give that guest a chance to feel like they actually have more hair and that blowout and that volume that they can never really get. So not also does it make my guests happy, but it also has boosted my retail sales. So that makes me feel really good too. And then I share it with everybody else in my salon. So we've been very, very successful with this Extra Body category. So now, our journey today is going to start at the wash house. And in the wash house, the first product that I chose is the Extra Body Daily Shampoo. The Extra Body Daily Shampoo is great because it can be used on anywhere from fine to normal hair. It's going to maximize your shine, and it also has that alcohol derivative panthenol in it, which is going to attach onto the hair. It's going to allow the hair to feel very chubby and fat, along with the wheat-derived ingredients that is going to actually protect it from damage. So it's a really, really good shampoo for fine, thin hair. Then we are going to move on to our Extra Body Daily Rinse. And all of our fine, thin-haired guests, when they hear the word rinse, it's like, yay, it's going to work, it's going to be lightweight. So it is. Our Extra Body Daily Rinse is lightweight. It's a great detangler for those girls who have those tangles and they have that fine, thin hair and you don't want to do a lot of yanking. So it does help to detangle the hair. It also is going to add lightweight volume. And then it is also going to have the panthenol and the wheat-derived ingredients, which is going to protect it too. So this is a really great conditioner, and also it helps if you're also going to be doing a blow dry because it's going to protect from the heat styling also. So two really, really good products in this category. So now we are going to move into our haircut. And our haircut is called the Fernanda haircut. And this is a really nice haircut because it is a long layered concave haircut that can be pretty much versatile on just about any kind of texture, density, and it would all be according to what kind of guest is sitting in your chair. So the haircut, I'm going to be starting off with our Paul Mitchell shears. Nice 5.5, so you can pretty much use them for just about anything. They have a effortless accuracy, which is great because every cut is going to be exactly the way that you plan to cut it. And then also the ergonomical design, which allows for good arm and shoulder position. So it's actually a little bit more healthier for us because it allows us to have that good position with our arms and in our hands. So the haircut, what we're going to do is I'm going to take this haircut pretty much straight back. So I'm going to start at the front of her hair and I'm going to part all the way to the nape of her neck. And it's just going to be two sections pretty much. Comb it down. Keep it nice and neat. And just remember, the neater you can keep your sections and the easier it's actually going to set you up for success in the chair. I am very picky and very crazy about being very neat. That way I know where I'm going and it's kind of like your path to your haircut and where you're going to start and where you're going to end up. So if you can see that, I'm going to do it from the frontal all the way back to the nape. And we're going to be working with this side and then I will describe to you what I do on the other side. I am also going to be talking about the haircut as I go through. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a parallel section. We are going to take the hair. We are going to pull it up. We're going to make sure that our elbow is up. We're going to make sure that our fingers are down. That is allowing us to cut from short to long. We're going to drop it and there's our concaved. Comb it down. Next section, parallel to that section. So this is going to be section number 2. Same thing, dropping out at the high parietal. The parietal is actually where the head curves, so you're going to drop out. That way we are not cutting into any of our foundation of our haircut. Standing behind the section, lifting that arm up, watching for your guide. I see my guide, my elbows up, my fingers are down. Cut, 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 cut. Drop it down. Now, section number 2 is going to be over directed to section number 1. Section number 3 is going to be over directed to section number 2. So we're now at section number 3. We're going to over direct that to section number 2. Over direct it, pull that hand up. I see my guide. Cut, 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 cut. Drop it down, concave. Section number 4 is going to be over directed to section number 3, keeping everything neat and everything out of the way. Section number 3, section number 4, you're over directing it. Up, arms up, watch for your guide. I see my guide. Make sure elbows up, make sure your fingers are down. Cut, 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 drop it down, concave. Now we are going to be working with the last section, section number 4. This is going to be the corner of the head, and that is going to be over directed to section number 3. Nice. Dropping out of the parietal, making sure your sections are clean, making sure your body position is exactly where it needs to be, which is directly behind your section. Take this, over direct it to section number 3. See my guide, arms up, fingers down, cut, cut, cut. Now we're going to move to the back. And the back is really simple because you are just going to be taking back section here, back section here. Pretty much the back section. Once again, making sure my sections are nice and neat and clean. Making sure I have good tension on the hair. Dropping out at the occipital. Bringing this up. Making sure that arm's up. I see my guide. Elbow up, fingers down, hair straight up. Cut, cut, cut. Okay. So now, I have already pre-cut the other side of the haircut, but I'm going to kind of just walk through so you can understand of exactly what I did. So what I did was, is I start in the corner, I go to the back. Now I am going to completely move my body position to where my section is actually in front of me. That way I can see my guide, and it actually makes me work harder, or smarter, not harder. So you'll take your hair, pull it up. Always make sure that that elbow's up, make sure that those fingers are down, cut, cut, cut. That's how you know it's a concave layer. And so what you're gonna do is you're gonna do the exact same thing you did on the other side. Section 1, straight up from the head, elbow up, fingers down. Section 2 is gonna be over directed to section 1, elbow up, fingers down, cut, 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 and so on and so on. Section 3 is over directed to section 2, and section 4 is over directed to section 3. This is gonna be your section 4. This is your section 3, your section 2, and your section 1. Your section 4 should always end up in your corner, and this is going to be your section 5, which is your very, very back part of the hair, the head. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and just kind of see if there's any corners that need to be removed just from the back of the head. So I'm going to section it off from behind the ear, and this is designated, we all know, to be the back of the head. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to stand, take my section, actually move this way so you can see. And just making sure that there's no corner on here. If there is, there's a little bit of a corner. We're just going to cut that corner off. Move to this side. Nothing is over directed. Everything is pulled straight out from the head. Just making sure that we're just removing corners and not removing anything else. Comb it up. And there is a little corner. Cut, cut, cut. Clean that up. Drop it down, comb it down, and you're going to do the same thing over here on this side. It's just making sure that you're only pulling up the back section straight out from the head. Making sure nice and neat sections, So you can see where you're going, pulling it up, making sure you drop down, pulling up that corner, and there is a little bit of a corner. Cut, cut, cut. Drop it down. Okay. So the front part of the hair is going to be her fringe area. We've already did our consultation and she's already told me that she's trying to grow her bangs out. So I'm just going to do just a quick, simple, little quick bang area here, but I'm going to, so you can at least see, I'm going 1.5 inches back on both sides. And that allows for me just to keep out the fringe area that we're going to be cutting. And if you can see that simple fringe area, I'm going to bring it together. I'm going to make sure I'm standing directly in front of her. I'm going to take my section, make sure that it's even on both sides. And when you pull it down tight, you'll be able to see that it's even. And I'm going to pinch it between my fingers, drop it down, and I'm just going to cut the ends off just to clean it up. Now I'm going to step off to the side, and I like to kind of not just let bangs, but I like to kind of make everything follow together or follow through. So I'm going to soften up these edges right here and make this all together. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide cut. There's my guide. Slide, 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 slide. And comb everything. I'm keeping everything down because I am not trying to remove off a whole lot of length because she's already told me she's trying to grow these sides out. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side. And just make sure that you're always standing in front of your section. With this one, it's going to change a little bit. You are going to rest your hand on top of the other hand. Grab you a little guide from the fringe. And I see it. And we're just going to slide, 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 slide. Little hair. Same thing. Keep it at no elevation because we're not trying to remove any length if we don't have to. Slide, slide, slide. And that's it. Last section. Keeping everything down. So that way it gives her a really nice soft frame around her fringe area and it kind of softens up instead of those hard bangs and then just the length. Okay. There you go. Okay, so do we have any questions on the haircut? So I'm just going to kind of go back through the haircut again. So you are going to start on your left side, her left, parting your sections parallel. You're going to do section 1, section 2. Section 2 is going to be over directed to section 3. Then you're going to go to section 4. Section 4 is going to be over directed to section 3. Section 4 will be over directed to section 3, and then you're going to just make sure your section 5 in the back is pulled straight out from the head or straight up from the head. Always making sure that your elbows up, fingers are down. That is allowing us to cut concave, which is short to long. Same thing on this side. The only thing with this side is our body position changes. So we're going to be standing on this side of your guest, making sure your elbows are up, fingers are down, and continuing and over directing those sections of exactly where they need to go. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to go into a little bit of some of our Pro Tools that I'm going to be used to style her hair. So what I chose for her was some of the Extra Body Sculpting Foam. And the Extra Body Sculpting Foam is probably one of my go-tos in the salon for a lot of different clients. A, it's lightweight, which makes it great. It gives you that flexible shine, a little bit of moisture that you do need, and it also has that conditioning formula that gives a little bit of body and makes the hair full. But the biggest thing is this is going to set you up for the most successful blow dry. So that is why it is my go-to. I'm going to put just enough on my hands, or in my hand or my palm, kind of run it through her hair, and I really want to concentrate mid-shaft to the ends. I'm not worried about the roots. We've already got the shampoo and conditioner working for us, the shampoo and the rinse working with us. And then I'm going to turn to my Paul Mitchell 413 brush. One of my very favorite brushes. Good brush. Wet or dry styling, so you can use it for both. It also has your nice little rubber pad so that doesn't actually hurt the guest's head, and when you're doing all that pulling and that detangling, it actually feels really good. And it's got the nice grip handle, so it's really easy. It is a great go-to brush for styling, wet, dry styling, so it's pretty much can be used for a lot of different things. And what I'm doing is I'm just making sure that her product is evenly distributed out throughout her whole entire head. That way, when we blow dry, every piece of her hair has some of the sculpting foam, Extra Body Sculpting Foam on it, so that helps us out. All right, now I'm going to go to my Paul Mitchell clips. These are my Paul Mitchell sectioning clips. Non-slip, so you can hold on to them. They're really easy to hold on to. But the most important thing is they are antimicrobial, so it's great. So you don't have to keep rushing to the back and rinsing them off because they do not hold any bacteria, so that you can continuously use them all day. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to section a panel off the top of her head, kind of in horseshoe shape, and that is going to be our first section of drying. And we're going to take our brush and make sure everything is nice and neat. The neater your sectionings and the neater you are, the better your final product is going to turn out. Cut that off. Then we're going to go to our side here. I like to keep everything nice and neat. That way it just sets me up for success when I'm trying to move around the head and blow dry the hair. Clip. And then we're going to go from here to the mastoid process behind the ear. Comb it out, clip it off. In the back, according to how much texture, how much density you have in your guest's hair, you will have to decide that. My guest is going to allow me to do the 2 sections and then only do 2 within those sections. So I'm just going to section this one off and section this one off. And that way you can see how nice and neat. Like I said, nice and neat. It's all about the neatness. It's a good presentation too in the salon when someone walks by and sees how nice and neat your guest is sectioned off. So you can see all the different sections, so that makes it really easy for the blow dry. And this also sets you up for success too. So now I am going to step into my Palm Mitchell Pro Tools. The hair dryer that I'm going to be using is our Express Ion Dry. It is one of my very favorite products from Palm Mitchell. It's got 2 speeds, 2 heats. It's got your good old cold shot when you need it. Also, the biggest thing with these tools is it's really cool is 1500 watt DC motor. Also has a 9-foot cord, so it makes it really easy for us to maneuver around our station. But the biggest thing about our brushes and our tools and our styling products is they all have 32 post-volcanic materials and negative ions that are actually baked into the motors, baked into the brushes, baked into the plates of all of our styling tools, and that allows us to dry the hair from the inside out. The best thing that they could have ever come up with, and it really sets us up for success. So I am going to start with her blow dry, and I'm going to start section by section. And you want to make sure that when you're with the blow dry, you're actually making sure that the heat is on your hair dryer, and they're actually blowing the hair down the hair shaft. And you want to keep your nozzle, the air directed towards you. That keeps a lot of the heat away from the guest, and it keeps the hair under control. So you just want to make sure. I am going to take this hair off base as best as I can to give her maximum volume, because we are going to be looking for a lot of volume at the top of the head. And then really concentrating on making sure you're blowing down the hair shaft and you're concentrating on the ends, because the ends are something else that's really important for a great blow dry. Cold shot. Take it, my Palm Mitchell clip, wrap it around my finger, clip it off, onto the next section. And I'm going to do 3 different sections here at the top. Once again, off base, making sure that that hair is being blow dried from all the way down the hair shaft, and you're not roughing up the cuticle and making the frizzies. And we're going to be pulling forward, and that allows us to give maximum volume, which is really nice for this blow dry. And this is really going to give her that volume that she's not used to having, but we'll be very excited once she gets it. Concentrate on those ends. Give her that cold shot. Palm Mitchell clip. You can already see all the volume in that curl. It's really nice. Last section. Like I said, making sure you're blowing down that hair shaft. Making sure it's nice and neat. stop you from having all that frizz. Concentrating on those ends, and we are blowing off base, and that's going to give us our maximum volume. Concentrate on those ends, roll it up, give it that cold shot. Palm mitchell clip it up. That actually stays by itself. Pretty impressive. Now I'm going to move over to the side, and I'm going to split this into 2 separate sections also. And this will be all according to the density of the hair that you are working with on your guest. This is going to be on base, which is minimum volume, because this is the front of her hair, and I want to kind of keep it nice, and I want it to flow and lay real soft around her face. Once again, making sure I'm blowing down that hair shaft. I got my tools working with me. Makes it easier. We're drying from the inside out, so there's no breakage. Concentrating on those ends, which makes it really nice, because the ends, if the ends are not dry, it could really ruin a blow dry. You want to really concentrate. Roll it up. Give it that cold shot. And by clipping these up with these palm mitchell clips, really is kind of doing a curl set. Pretty much the same thing. Just setting it for a nice, big, voluptuous, holding that little bit of volume, that little bit of curl in there. Last section. Make sure you have your heat on. And we're going to do kind of a half base with this, just for a little bit of volume in the middle here. But really concentrating, making sure you're blowing down that hair shaft. Big, huge. You don't want to rough all that hair up and have all that hair balled up at the top of their head and all their frizzies, because they're going to be really upset. So concentrate on that. Follow through. Your hair dryer and your brush should work like a tractor in a trailer, or a truck in a trailer. Everything follows each other, makes everything really easy to work with. Very nice and neat. Roll it up, roll it on the base, give it a little bit of heat, a little cool shot. Take your palm mitchell clip, do the back section. And the back section I'm just going to do in 2 separate sections. And this is going to be off base. We don't want any volume back here if we don't have to. Roll it down. Make sure you're not roughing up that cuticle. And a good blow dry will keep you a guest in the chair for life. I could promise you that. I have a lot of guests that really enjoy my blow dries, especially when you're working with good products. Like the extra body category really sets you up for success. Little shorties on the hair dryer. Okay. Make sure concentrate on those ends. Please concentrate on those ends. That's very, very, very important in a blow dry. Give it a little cool. And the last section on this side. And I'm probably going to take this one a little bit off base too, just for the little bit of minimum volume. I don't want a lot, but I do want some. Just really want to concentrate on getting those roots dry in there. Really make sure that you're pushing that nozzle down the hair shaft. Not roughing up that cuticle and concentrating on those ends. That's what you should be thinking about every time you do a blow dry. Am I blowing the hair in the right direction? Am I doing off base, on base, or half base? And am I concentrating on the ends? Because the ends are very important to you. And blowing off base and giving that certain amount of volume that you want, your minimum, your maximum, your no volume. It's very, 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 very important, and it really completes a blow dry. Give that little bit of cold shot. Flip it up. Ta-da. Okay, back section. And we're back at the bottom again. So we're going to be doing no volume, so on base. Just concentrating on getting it dry, getting the roots dry, making sure that that hair dryer is shooting the air flow down. Yep. And you can see how sectioning the hair really sets you up for success when it comes for a good blow dry. Kind of like your path or your GPS to your blow dry. Your navigator, I should say, to your blow dry, and it really makes a difference. Concentrate on those ends. And when the ends are kind of a cold to touch, if you can feel them and they're kind of cold, that means they're dry. Roll it up. A little bit of cold. Wrap it around your finger. Flip it all up. Great. One more section. It's our last section in the back. I'm going to kind of take this one off half base too, because I do want a little bit of volume back here. Really concentrating on that, making sure that that hair is being blown down the hair shaft and not disturbing it and making it frizzy and dry looking. Concentrating on those ends. And as you can see, my brush and my hair dryer are working like a track in a trailer, or a truck in a trailer. Trailer always follows the truck no matter where they go. That's kind of how you have to think about your tools. Concentrating on those ends, roll them up, give them a little cold shot. And if you notice, I haven't put any of my tools down. It's also something that I try to practice working with, because it actually makes you work smarter and not harder, where you don't have to keep setting stuff down and picking stuff up and setting stuff down and picking stuff up, and it just makes things go a little bit faster. 2 more sections. I'm going to clip that one out of the way. And once again, this is going to be off base, because we don't want any volume right here. Making sure that it's being blown down the hair shaft, and really concentrating on those ends to make sure it's nice and dry. Roll it up, give it a cold shot. Success every time. Roll it around your fingers. Flip it away, and last but not least, and this one, like I said, on the other side, you kind of want to do the same thing on both sides so you have a even hairstyle. So we took this off base so it could have a little bit of volume, because this is a lot of times where they want their volume is kind of in their high crown area, the top of the hair, the top of the head, never on the bottom. Take that into consideration. Concentrate on those ends, making sure our trailer is following our truck. Give it a little cold shot. Turn the hair dryer off. And there you go. Very simple way to do a nice, quick, easy blowout. Now I'm going to just give her a really light dusting of this Extra Body finishing spray. It's got a great secure hold. It has a lot of volume. It's got the panthenol in it. It also has the additive shine, which is actually really, really great. It's weightless, and I also really like it because you can spray it on, and then I'm also going to run the 413 brush through it, so it actually allows me to comb through it, which is really, really, really nice. Has the panthenol in it and also has the hydrogenized wheat proteins, which are absolutely fantastic for that panthenol and for that little bit of volume. So I'm just going to give her a really light spray because I don't want to overdo it because it is a secure hold. And then I am going to go in and take out my clips. Maybe I'm going to start back here though. Let that one kind of cool off since that is the last section that I just finished drying. And then what I'm going to do is I kind of want to alter a little bit of the curl so it's not so routine through her whole entire head. And I'm going to go in with another one of our Paul Mitchell Pro Tools, which is our Express Ion Large. It's our 1-inch aluminum barrel curling iron. Let's see here. Yep. It's great because it's got a digital display. Heats up to 400. I guess I have to turn it on. Heats up to 400. Aluminum barrel. Even heat throughout the whole entire barrel, which makes it really nice. That's the aluminum. Has a swivel cord, so that's really nice. And it also has a temperature lock on it. So, hey, if you want to only be at a certain temperature, I want to set it there and I want to lock it, it stays. Also has the 32 ionic materials in it. So it's going to post-volcanic materials, negative ions, that is allowing the hair to curl from the inside out. So we're not damaging, as we just went through with the hair dryer and the heat and the protectant. So this is actually doing the same thing. So I am going to go in and just kind of alter some of these curls and make them a little tighter. And some I can treat this like a wand and just wrap it around if I want. And I'm not doing all of them. I'm just going to kind of go do a few here and there to kind of make some tight, some loose. It's hot. And this curling iron really works nice, and it works fast, and it's nice because you can turn it on and it heats up within a few seconds. See how it's just kind of changing the curl pattern just a little bit. Not too many, not every piece. I kind of just picked out a few in there, a few here and there, so that will be all up to you. Give her a nice little spray. I'm gonna go back to our 413 brush, which is my wet styling brush from Paul Mitchell. It's my go-to brush for my kind of styles like this. It's kind of my go-to brush for everything, actually. If you want to give her a little bit more extra volume up here, you can actually rouge the top of this just a little bit to give her that little bit of volume that she doesn't have. And then nice and soft, bring it down. So today I took you guys on an extra body journey, and I went through the extra body daily shampoo. We talked about the extra body daily rinse. Then we went back to our design station. I shared with you a very nice concave long layered haircut that can be kind of versatile for a lot of different hair types. Then I shared with you the extra body sculpting foam, which was lightweight. It's great. It sets you up for that successful blow dry. I shared with you all of our wonderful Paul Mitchell Pro Tools, from our Express Ion Dry to our 413s to our Express Ion Rounds. And then we kind of talked about the Express Ion Curl, which has the aluminum barrel. Really nice because it has the even heat protectant, all the even heat through all there, so you're never going to have a dry spot in your heat. It's got your digital lock. It heats up really quick. Also, I shared with you a little bit about the extra body finishing spray. So on this successful journey today, I shared with you a lot of things to give that fine, thin-haired guest exactly what she is looking for in a blowout. And what I would like you today to do is I challenge you to go back to the salon, find that skinny-haired guest that can never, ever, ever get that big, voluptuous blowout. Bring him into the salon, take him on the extra body journey, and then you'll be a successful hairdresser. And with that being said, the difference between a successful hairdresser and an unsuccessful hairdresser is a successful hairdresser does what an unsuccessful hairdresser wants to do. So thank you so much for having me today. I'm so glad that I could take you on this journey, and hopefully I'll get to come back and see you guys. But thank you. My name is Marlese Bogacki on behalf of John Paul Mitchell Systems and Armstrong McCall. Thank you.